West Ham got away with one there against Gent. We really did. There's no doubt about it. Let me get one thing straight here. That's not a bad result. An away draw when you've got the second leg at home is not bad at all. However, it was pretty crappy stuff. Look, it's got a bit feisty on Hammers Chat on the comments over the past week, but I got to say, and I am aware there'll be some people say, hey, look, get over it and, be more positive. I think you have to really, I think you probably have to not seen the game if you think that West Ham did okay in that. We were inviting them on us in the same way that, remember we played Larnaca, they had 14 corners or something in the first half, in the first leg. I mean, look, we sorted it out in the second leg, and I'm sure and I'm hopeful we'll do the same again this time, but my word, we made really hard work of that. And we got away with it. So, as the point that I was trying to make at the start of the video, there's no way West Ham deserved a draw. We deserved to lose. I'm quite happy to praise a really robust and excellent defensive performance. Hopefully I showed that in the Fulham game. It might not have been what I'd like to see. Whilst I didn't think the game was entertaining, I thought defensively everybody did their job. And if you listen to the player ratings over on our Patreon channel, all the defenders, and even Souček and Rice in front of the defence, they scored highly. They blocked, they tackled, the timing of the headers was great, the interceptions, all of that stuff was good. So I'm happy to praise a really good defensive performance. That wasn't it. That wasn't one of those that we just saw against Gent. Oh my word. Was it just me, or did a Gerd look completely nervous? I think he was still almost like suffering like a hangover or nerves. So it's like flashbacks, a nightmare from the Newcastle game. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you think about that. Oh, by and large, Ogbonna wasn't too bad for a majority of the game. But my word, he was given a lot of the run around, and the nutmeg for their goal wasn't particularly good either. Ben Johnson was bad. I don't think he didn't struggle quite as badly defensively as a Gerd, but my word, I don't want to know. In fact, I would have asked once I'll do the player ratings with Gio later on today, and I'll ask Gio what his passing stats were. I bet they're poor. It was weird. I was so sluggish. I mean, even Declan took ages to get into the game. I actually thought Flynn Downs, the first two fouls that were given against Flynn Downs. Second one was a card, right? I didn't think there was any difference between Flynn Downs' card, by the way, and when Piatowski got the red card rescinded for the tackle on Paqueta. I thought as tackles, they were almost exactly the same. They're just in different areas of the pitch. The difference is VAR didn't look at Flynn Downs' one. But I thought Flynn Downs, he got booked and then he got carded. I thought he was very unlucky. I thought he was up for it straight away. There's no doubt about that. He was absolutely up for it straight away, Flynn Downs. I thought he battled really well. But, you're scratching around with that team and against that performance, trying to pick out players that played well. Look, if I tell you this much, if you've not seen it, Paqueta came on in the 74th minute and he was our best player by a mile. By a mile, to the point where it wasn't even close. How you assess someone that played basically 16 minutes with somebody that's played 90 or whatever, that's very difficult. But I will tell you now, he did more in those 16 minutes than anybody else did. And yes, I understand Danny Ings scored a goal and Bowen set one up, but you just have to trust me on that. He set up Bowen for a really good chance. He set up Antonio for a really good chance. He might have had a penalty. It was a good tackle, but I played some excellent passes. He played a really nice pass to Ben Rama. He tracked back. He made tackles. He was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. And it's a bit of a shame because, I mean, if you'd have seen the video that I did yesterday, which was I picked out Paqueta and I picked out Cornet because I felt that they could really impact these European games. It's sort of at their pace and they know what they're doing. And it was so disappointing, I guess, to not see Paqueta start and to not see Cornet feature at all. I mean, Cornet couldn't have done any worse than what was there anyway. It was really bad. To invite them upon us in the way that we did was terrible. Look, we got away with one. As I say, look, I feel like I'm talking about a defeat here. I'm not, but I mean, it would be disingenuous of me to sit here and pretend that I've just watched a really good game of football that we deserved to draw. We didn't. They were all over us. They really were. look, Danny Ings scored a goal, basically, a tapping goal. He was in that sort of position. That's what he does. He's a poacher, right? He's in a poacher's position. Very bright from Bowen. It was a throw-in. Soufal threw the ball in. Bowen called for it, asked for it, and he squared the ball really nicely for Danny Ings. Which, I mean, I was obviously really pleased for the goal right at the end of the first half as well. We didn't deserve it. We were the worst team. By the way, actually, no, before I talk about a Gerds disallowed goal for handball, I was really pleased for Danny Ings there because we need him scoring goals. And you know what? That's 3 times now he's just been stood in the right place at the right time. If he can do that another 3 or 4 times this season, absolutely great. His highlight reel must be crap. He scores from that far away from the goal, doesn't he? He just basically taps it in. One of them even went in off his arse against Nottingham Forest. But he I was going to say he knows where the back of the net is. It's almost implied he knows where to stand. He's got really, really good positional awareness. But that was it. Nothing else in the game at all. He's still. Look, I wish I could tell you more that it was that Bowen and Ings looked like a really promising budding partnership. It didn't. It was just that one isolated incident from a dead ball situation from the throw-in. He still looked isolated. They still didn't look like a partnership. That's the 3rd formation now that Danny Ings has played in, and I can't think of one where I've looked at it on any time in any of the 3 formations where he's, apart from the Nottingham Forest game, which we've not, and that was just one game playing that way. I've seen him play poorly in that formation more times. I don't blame him. He's clearly got a talent for sniffing out opportunities in the box. But you know what? So did Chicharito, and David Moyes couldn't get him playing either. So that was a bit of a shame. I'm not saying Antonio was loads better when he came on. Maybe a little bit. But he really did squander that chance when Paqueta played him through. Really lovely. Paqueta was so good. It's funny, isn't it? It gives you that little bit of joy watching someone like that play. A Gerd scored, sort of. A good corner from Bowen. The goalkeeper fumbled it. And it was sort of fumbling around it as ricocheted. And a Gerd went like that. And you saw it straight away. And it was really funny. The commentator saying, I wonder, I think he might have accidentally caught the ball with his head. That's not the way I saw it anyway. They were all over us. They really were. But it's good. It's good in as much as we take them back to the London Stadium, and you've got to hope that we'll do better than that. It's easy to be hard on West Ham, and I'm just looking at it as an individual performance, right? The performance wasn't great. Actually, the result is decent because, as I say, it's easy to be hard on West Ham. There's a lot of teams gone out this competition. A lot of teams gone out the Europa League. You know, we still seem to hang in there. It's not easy. I don't think it's easy playing in Europe, but my word, we made it really, really difficult for ourselves. It has to be said. He switched it around, David Moyes, didn't he? Ben Rama came on, looked a bit better, but he still lacked that ultimate pace. Here's the point. We were playing against a counter-attacking team, who were fast. I'll tell you what's frustrating. It reminds me, a couple of years ago, we played Watford. Might have been last year, whenever, a couple of years ago, probably. And we did the review afterwards, and I said to Gio, the 5 fastest players on the pitch were all Watford's players. It wasn't like we had the third, it wasn't like they had the fastest and we had the third fastest. The 5 fastest were all Watford players. And then I think we had Antonio, and then the next 2 fastest were Watford players. It was a bit like that. The 4 fastest players on that football pitch were Gent players. And my word, it showed. You know, they want to play counter-attacking football, but they have got square pegs in square holes. They really have. And it was a real effort to try and do it. And I'll never understand it. I know I'm like a scratch record. I will never understand why David Moyes doesn't buy faster players. I totally understand the way he wants to play. Not the way I would particularly want to play. But if what he wants to do is sit back and have a counter-attacking team, okay, Moyes, I get it. I understand. Buy some fast players. Or even just, you've got one who carries a bit of pace. So Cornet, all right, he's not 10 out of 10 for speed, but he's pacey enough. He's an 8 out of 10, isn't he? Get him on the pitch. Weird. Anyway. I guess ultimately it doesn't matter. If we go through, it doesn't matter. And I really, anyway, Have I mentioned Paqueta yet? And it's funny. Actually, reminds me. I've mentioned this loads of times. If you watch the channel, when Allardyce was in charge, and he used to bring on Zarate sometimes, or and I know Zarate wasn't the best player in the world. And sometimes they bring on Ravel Morrison. I think there may have been a game where they brought on Zarate, Ravel Morrison, and Joe Cole. Wow! And it was so good because we were denied sort of enjoyable, skillful football, weren't we? So that was why I always liked Zarate. Well, if Zarate's on, at least we'll get a little dribble, or we'll get a shot, we'll get something. I found that with Paqueta. I thought, oh, that's great. At least Paqueta's on. He's going to try and do something. Little bit of it was ambition. I think that's the thing. It was ambition and little bit of drive, but with the skill thrown in. I'm not saying Flynn Downs, for instance, he had ambition, he had drive, but it's when you throw in that extra bit of flair that Paqueta had. But anyway, there you go. What can I say? 1-1 draw. It's funny because I think I was looking forward to it so much. I think I was probably, hoping for a little bit more to carry through into the next round. But as a few people said, Gent are no pushovers, and that much is clear. And I do think that whilst we might not have enjoyed it, and let's be fair, there's a lot of that this season. Didn't enjoy watching a Fulham game. It was awful. We watched it from behind the sofa, sort of peering from behind your hands, sort of thing. But we got the win, and I didn't enjoy watching that. But you know what? We got the draw. If that's going to be enough to see us through to the semi-final, then you won't have any overriding complaint from me. But hard watch, isn't it? It's a hard watch when you're watching your football team sit back, and there's a counter attack, and there's not just it stopped being. I think this is the point. It stopped being a counter attack come the end. It was just attack, wave after wave of attack. Same way that we invited Southampton upon us, and I mean, and so look, sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't. What's his name? Old Allbrand. He hit the bar, didn't he? Got away with one a little bit there. Anyway, there you go. Just my thoughts on the game. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Am I being too harsh? Or did you? Look, as I say, I think it's a good result. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you think it's a good result, and we played really well, and you enjoyed it. If so, fair enough. Everyone's due their opinion, but I struggled with that one a little bit. Anyway, I'll catch up with you tomorrow.